Good morning, everybody. I'm happy to see you all. Maggie and Michaela are trying to get on. Um, I think that Garrett is not going to be here today. And Maya, are Tyler and Ryan going to join us? Nope, they didn't get done with their job. That's okay. That's okay. All right, I think we're going to have Maggie and Michaela, and I hope Jack will join us in a little bit. But in the meantime, are you guys game for some questions? I've got to find it again. Hold on. Let me get myself ready. Oh, and this is actually important. Do all of you have access to something that you can use to buzz in a little bit? I put it in the email. Um, you can use the same website if you need to.
Daddy, can you close the door to the
All right. We'll get to that in a minute. I've got to find my questions. Okay. Got to take Tyler out and Ryan out and Garrett out. Okay. Adam, are you ready to be first up? All right. What would you do if you won the lottery?
It depends how much money it was. Can you give me an amount?
$1 million.
Jeez. First I'd tie 10%. I'd probably just give it all to our organization, like Ethnos 360, because we're always needing money for everything. Like for instance, we our guest house had broken pipe during the winter. It froze, then burst, and then they took apart the walls. Then they found there was a whole bunch of ant damage, so they spent over like 140,000 just rebuilding a lot of it. So that's just, yeah, that's
I
probably what I
understand.
do.
That's beautiful. All right, Maya, what is the tallest building you've been to the top of?
Um, I don't know. I don't feel like I've been on the top of many tall buildings.
Have you been in a second floor story?
Yeah, I
Second
have.
story? Third? Fourth?
Mm, probably, I would say I've probably been like an eight story,
Okay,
maybe. Probably a good.
I got it. The hospital in our town has 3 stories. So for a long time, that was our limit. But then we went to the Empire State Building and that was a totally different animal. It's very makes your tummy wiggle. All right, Isabella. Okay, this is this question you may not like. Um, how old were you when you learned that Santa wasn't real? And how did you find out?
Uh, Last year because I saw my um Santa's present on my mom's past Amazon cart.
Mom, you blew it. Um, can I just say that when Max was like 4 or 5, we were studying Saint Nicholas and who was a real person that Santa Claus was based off of, and he walked into his whole class group and was like, Santa's dead. It was moms were mad at me, like legit mad. So I'm glad that it was not that situation for you. All right, Lydia, what is your favorite holiday?
I really like Thanksgiving. It's probably my favorite one.
Okay, awesome. Maggie, what is your favorite fast food chain?
back at you.
Probably Chick-fil-A. It's just Jesus chicken. So, um, how long does it take you to get ready in the morning?
It doesn't take me long. I don't know. I can't put a number on it, but it doesn't take me long.
Okay. All right, Kenna. Would you rather trade intelligence for looks or looks for intelligence? It's not quite on the same category as how long does it take you to get ready. Sorry.
I'm gonna say back at you.
I would choose intelligence over looks because looks don't last your whole life, they change, but intelligence can actually grow over your life. Do you love or hate roller coasters?
I love them.
And Michaela, um, are you a clean or a messy person? She's frozen. We're all frozen? Okay, Michaela's frozen. Oh, you're back. Are you clean or messy? Just shout it to me and I'll answer for you. Are you clean or messy? She's messy. So just so that you know, we are in our motorhome right now in Oklahoma. And that is why we're having this moment. I am in the back bed and they are in the cab, and apparently their internet is not going to behave itself very well today. So, okay. Um, let me share my screen if I can figure out how to do that. Again, every day it's a new mystery. I want to share my desktop. Share. I see you. Is that right? Okay. Okay. Big thoughts.
All right.
The question that I left you with at the end of class last time was, what is the difference between an immigrant and a settler? And what have you discovered that difference is?
Okay. So I don't know if I'm like supposed to, but I looked it up. Am I allowed to do that?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, okay.
Great way
So
to start.
yeah, okay. It basically is immigrants move to a new country and live there, and they aim to join a society. And settlers want to basically, yeah, shorten it. Immigrants want to join a society, and settlers want to create their new own society.
Right. So why would that be an interesting concept as we look at America, which is admittedly a nation that has been built by people moving to these shores? Why do we care?
Well, because I think if I understand the question right, because you're basically asking why do we care that we have so many people coming in to the US, right?
Well, I think that the difference is, why do we care if they're immigrants or settlers?
Oh, okay. Because I think that settlers are more open to what we have already here, and immigrants are kind of like they're coming from a community or wherever they were, and I don't really know how to explain it, but maybe like immigrants come and they have their beliefs set and they don't, or their laws or whatever set, and they don't want to change, and settlers are like more open to what we already have, if that makes sense. I don't know. I might be totally off, but
Well, you've got the definitions right, but you've got them flip-flopped. So immigrants should they're coming to something. They want to be a part of the society. Settlers come to create something. Think about the Pilgrims and the Mayflower Compact. The Mayflower Compact existed. They were authorized by a foreign government to come and settle this area because they wanted to create something specific. If the Pilgrims were immigrants, they would be a part of the Native American tribes right now. They would have assimilated into the Native American structure that was already there, but they weren't. They came in to be settlers, to form a new nation and to create something specific. Does that make sense? I think that it's really important because when we talk about our current immigration problems, there are people who are coming to America to escape what they have left behind. They want the promise of what America and the United States is offering as far as the freedom to pursue life, liberty, and happiness. They are not coming to try to change and to create their own world. However, if you look at France right now, they have had so many people immigrate to France that their traditional French customs are disappearing because of pure population numbers. So that idea of immigrant versus settler is important when you talk about things like should English be the national language? We conduct all of our business in English and lately have added Spanish. But when this debate started coming up and becoming important, we actually had a predominant German-speaking population. And so this idea of English being the national language has been fought literally for centuries. It's just that right now it seems to be focused on Spanish, and previously it was focused on German. But America has always had to pay attention because if you have too many people who want to settle an area, your culture is destroyed. It becomes whatever's next. But if you have immigration where people want to support the culture that already exists, it's a different part of the conversation. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay. I'm going to say there are some really big topics that are coming out fast and furious, and we could actually spend a long time talking about each one of these. And we're not going to because we want to get done by Thanksgiving for this class. But you could spend your whole life studying one side of these topics and seeing a lot of beauty in it. Were there any new ideas that came out in chapters 7 and 8 for you this week? Anything that you learned?
I have just one thing to say about
Yeah.
the last topic is that one thing that just was interesting to me is that immigration is more personal because they have to try to adapt to the culture they are moving into. If you're just settling, you just settle and then you just live there. You can keep your own cultures, but immigration usually is much more personal and you are trying to adapt and become one of the other.
So
So
it's
that
more
was just
personal
interesting.
choice, you think? Which one do you think is harder, to be an immigrant or a settler?
Oh, geez.
Let's just say there's not a right or wrong answer here. It's pure personal. Kenna, what do you think? Which one is harder, to be an immigrant or a settler?
I think immigrant.
Okay, Maggie, Michaela,
I feel like they're both hard, but in different ways, and so it depends on like your skill set too.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, Lydia, what do you think?
I'd just probably say immigrant.
Okay. Maya?
I'd probably say immigrant.
Okay. Isabella?
I think immigrant too.
Okay, Patricia, what do you think?
I don't know. I'm gonna say settler.
Okay. Adam?
I'm not gonna pick one individual because they're both really hard for certain things. Because like if you're a settler, you have to try and like just be on your own, basically. And then if you're settling, you have to try to adapt. So they're both hard for different things. So I really just can't decide which one's harder.
That's fair. I think one of the other parts about being a settler is you have to be so confident in your authority to choose a way of life for other people. I think that's just an interesting piece of it. Okay, what other ideas have come up through our study this week?
I mean,
Speak
oh.
loud. We'll go Maggie and then we'll go Adam.
Probably how different, like the rules have not changed, but they have twisted them and like made it so they can do more than what the Constitution actually says they can do.
Are you thinking of like the federal land ownership? Okay, that's fair. Adam, what do you think?
One thing that I think is interesting is that I really, up until this point, I had no clue in the universe that they were taking more land, that they had a whole bunch of land even in their name. So that was just like, just kind of mind blowing that they're doing all of that.
It is pretty startling when you see that map, isn't it? We're going to come back to that at the end. It's also startling when you realize it's literally not in the Constitution, but the state, what were they called? The acts when they obtained the law, I forgot hold on. Ordinances. The ordinances were kind of like the contracts that allowed those states to come in. I think it's really interesting from the Ohio Enabling Act into Alaska. Like, that was startling. The other thing that I think was interesting is in Louisiana, where it said that all of the wasteland, the government can always have the wasteland. But when I saw that, I thought Louisiana in the same shape as it was right now. But if you look, let me see if I can real quickly pull up. It was 828,000 square miles. Like if you look at that picture, look at the size of that thing. That's not Louisiana as we know it now. This picture right here shows you the size of Louisiana right now. They're talking about all of that. And I think that that's just really interesting because when we think about this stuff, we think of it as our perspective of what it is today. And that is not the case at all. This was the other thing that tripped me up is the Northwest Ordinance. When I read that, I thought that they were talking about the Pacific Northwest because that's my frame of reference. That's not the truth. It's literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 states that is the Northwest Ordinance. I just think that's shocking. It has nothing to do with Washington and Oregon because they literally did not know that that land existed yet. The Rocky Mountains were in between. And it wasn't until Lewis and Clark started exploring that they even knew what kind of land was on North America. It's just, it baffles me. It's very shocking to my mind to see that. So, okay, I'm going to go back over here. Any other big ideas or interesting ideas that surprised you as we were studying this week?
Okay. What about this? This was one of the questions that we answered, but it says problems with land ownership by federal government interfering with the state's ability to manage their own lands. Because I didn't really understand until taking this class and reading everything about that the states are supposed to have, I'm going to say, the ability to do whatever they want in their own state. It's not, shouldn't necessarily be the federal government telling the state what they should be doing with their land, but obviously that's not true.
It is really interesting because it's so backwards. And one of the things that they used in our lecture was the idea of the Environmental Protection Agency, which, I mean, this is, let's take diesel cars, okay? Diesel trucks are what move all of our groceries back and forth across the country. If you go to Walmart, probably 99.9% of everything in Walmart arrived on a semi truck. Those semi trucks, in order to carry that much weight, they have to have a diesel engine. And so they take diesel fuel. And then the diesel fuel, the engines created exhaust. Now, I actually don't know. Are you old enough to remember being behind a car and having it spit out a ton of black smoke out of its exhaust pipe? Okay. So I didn't know if we had passed that because that was just part of what cars did. They spit out black smoke when they stopped at a stoplight and you kept going, and this is just what it was. Well, the Environmental Protection Agency, which was actually formed by executive order, not through Congress, came in and said, we are polluting, that smoke is part of the pollution problem. And so you have to stop using diesel engines and you have to use it's called an EGR system to clean the diesel smoke so it doesn't pollute the country. So when they put that EGR system on all diesel trucks, they got poorer gas mileage, miles per gallon on the diesel. So the cost of the goods went up because it cost more to get them to you. And the function of the engine was compromised. So it might have gone for 200,000, 300,000 miles, and now it would go for like maybe 2/3 of that. So it costs more money too. And all of these things come together, and the states didn't get a choice to say, we're not going to stick with that. They were just told, you have to obey because the federal government has created the EPA and you're going to do it now. So Kenna, what do you want to say?
I've actually heard that the exhaust that you can see from diesel trucks or diesel cars is better for the environment than the exhaust that you can't see that's put out by cars that do not have diesel.
Mm-hmm. So even in Arizona, in our cities, in Phoenix or in Tucson, you're required to pass an emissions test in order to drive a car and have it registered in that area. In Flagstaff, in our town, we do not have an emissions test. All of this is a little bit of a rabbit trail, but I think it's an important rabbit trail because we realize that these statements, they just get made, and they're not being made by the people who are actually living the life to make it happen. So, like, the EPA said that the spotted owl is on the endangered species list. And because the spotted owl was on the endangered species list, pieces of our city in Flagstaff were called their habitat. And so even though I own that land, I'm not allowed to put a house on it because the spotted owl got there first. Is that the federal government's right to say? Or is that the state government's right to say? Because those are the people who are more closely affected by that. Interesting conversations, right? So, okay. Are there any other ideas that came up from this?
This isn't really like an idea, it's just kind of a fun fact that I learned. But the reason why there's so many diesel heavy vehicles, like how all usually big vehicles are diesel, is because diesel has a higher explosive rate. So if you put like one drop of it, it'll explode, say, I actually don't know, but like 1.2 times more. So that's why they use it for diesel. But that's also why they have more exhaust, is because they make a bigger boom, so there's more exhaust to come out. So yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that. That's an interesting fact. Thank you. I know that there's a lot. My husband is in love with diesel engines, and so I know way more about diesel than I ever knew growing up. But I'm pretty convinced that they make the world go round. So, were there any unfamiliar words or definitions that you came across in this week? Impeachment. What is impeachment?
It's when the president gets like taken down by the House and Senate.
Okay. I'm gonna just put president gets taken down. Okay, impeachment. It is a consequence. It's another, you could use consequence. It's a type of consequence that our Congress has for the top ranking officials. Now let's back up. If you were a Mongol in ancient China and you had done something wrong, you got killed. Like they just chopped your head off. If you were in France prior to the revolution and you did something wrong and you were a senior official, you got killed. Like your life was on the line. So when the US came and decided that they were going to create a sanction, like people do wrong things, how do we handle those wrong things? This idea of impeachment was kind of a big deal. And so what they said is that the vote to impeach, which is the official sanction, has to come from the House of Representatives. Now, what do we know about the House of Representatives? How do you become a representative? Do you remember who puts you in office as a representative? Yes, Miss Patricia has it. The people are the ones who choose the House of Representative. Why is that important? The government exists by the consent of the governed. So the people have to be the one to start the impeachment process. They have to believe that this is worth talking about. And then the House of Representatives, which is filled with all of the political parties, 2/3 of them have to vote to impeach the president or top ranking official. Then they say they do it, vote it, it does pass. Then it goes to the Senate. Now remember, who originally chose the senators? The states. The states were the ones who originally chose the senators. Now those are also voted on by the people. So that's changed over time. Then the House of Representatives has to vote to remove the president or the high-ranking official from office. So you can be impeached by the House of Representatives and still stay in office if the Senate does not vote to remove you. Does that make sense? It's a two-pronged process. Now, our book and our curriculum it was published prior to Donald Trump's administration. And President Donald Trump was impeached 2 different times by the House of Representatives. But the Senate did not vote to remove him from office for either one of those. So they have used it 3 times against presidents over the course of the United States' history. And none of them have ever been removed from office for that. Now, the one exception is President Richard Nixon, and he was involved in the Watergate scandal. And Watergate was basically spying on your own people in order to win an election. That's super simplified. But he was so ashamed of his actions that he took as president that he did not even wait for the impeachment trial to happen, and he just resigned from office. So he was like, I'm done with this. In more recent times, Bill Clinton was impeached but not removed from office by the Senate, and Donald Trump was impeached but not removed from office by the Senate. And occasionally, people will talk about impeachment under all sorts of circumstances. But this was a really big deal because it meant you didn't die if you did something wrong. But it was also, it's also something that can be used as a political maneuvering. And so in our current times, it has seemed to be politically motivated more than anything else. So, okay, any other unfamiliar words? I'm glad that all of this was just crystal clear to all of you. You know all the things. Well done. I'm teasing you. Okay, we're going to move on. Okay, this is the buzz-in. We're going to try something new. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I want you to go to a website that is ccg.buzz. Right here. Forget the host part. ccg.buzz. And then once you go to that website, I want you to put in the game code Z1BJ. Do you see it? All right. Get onto it and put your name in. And you can put, let's see if this is working. Why am I not seeing you? I see you ready.
Wait, turn that off. I'm rejoining.
I need you to rejoin, but it doesn't say you're in it. Are you guys trying to get on right now and it's not working? Okay, let me log out. This is, again, we don't really know what we're doing here. So we're trying new things. Okay, try 1BXL. Let's try a new one. 1BXL. Put your name in. You can make up any team name. You are on a team of one. It is you. I might give you bonus points for a creative team name. I'm just going to say that because, you know.
What's the code again?
1, B as in boy, X, L as in lion. It's over here, right here. Can you see that on the screen?
I have left. Going back.
I see it. I see it. 3 of you are on it. Well done, my friends.
Whoops.
Lion.
I think I buzzed.
That's okay. I'll turn it off before we get started. Okay, 1, 2,
Well, that-
3.
I don't know if that will work.
Maggie's like buzzing like a crazy lady over
don't-
here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there's 7 of you and 7 of us. There you go.
Hopping penguin.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so what we're gonna do, on your screen or on your phone, you'll see the buzzer. I will show you the question and reset the buzzer, and then it's all true or false. So like literally you should participate because you have a 50% chance of getting it right no matter what. So
Who can buzz first?
does that make sense? So whoever buzzes first is the one who has the potential of getting the points. And the points are, I mean, it's bragging rights. So it's very
Wait. So if it's true or false questions and you buzz, if you don't buzz, are you picking false or?
No, you've got to answer true or false once you buzz.
Okay, I get it.
You gotta provide an answer. And then when you're looking at this, do you see all of the faces on my screen?
No,
I'm trying to make it skinny.
no, you don't.
Okay.
I don't, but I'm on my phone, so I'm gonna have to go back and forth from.
I see. It's gonna be a little bit tricky, but I believe in you. And look over here. I have a scoreboard. Super exciting. Ryan's involved all of a sudden. Are you gonna just team in with Maya, Ryan, or
Something like that.
are we going to allow this kind of collaboration? I don't know. Okay.
The one time I'm not in class, y'all are playing a game. I'm kind of offended.
Well, this is what happens. You don't want to miss this class, buddy. Are you ready? Okay, I have 25 questions.
Wait,
They're
hold
true
up.
or false. Are
My
you
thing
ready?
says buzz, so I can't play.
Well, that's because I have to turn it off to reset it. Are you ready? Okay. Don't buzz yet. I'm turning it off. Don't buzz. I'm going to show you the question in a second. One of the purposes of government is to maintain order so Christians and others can practice right living. All right, Maggie, is it true or false? One of the purposes of government is to maintain order so that Christians and others can practice right living. True or false? It is true. Maggie does not get the 10 points. INP, what would you like to say the answer is?
No, that's fair.
You would like to do the other one. Where did you go? Okay, 10 points right there. Moving on to the next question. Do not buzz in yet. According to Blackstone, municipal law enacted by civil government is valid only if it conforms to revealed law and the laws of nature. Buzz it. All right, Kenna, is the answer true or false?
I'm gonna say true.
You are correct. Hooray!
What are you talking about?
Okay, moving on. I'm turning it off to reset. One element necessary for a proper constitution is that it be a written document. All right, Isabella and Patricia. Is this true or false? True?
So
The answer is true. Once again, you're coming in hot, winning all of this game so far. Moving on to our next question. Oh. Hold on. The United States of America was founded as a democracy. Maggie.
false.
False, she says. Is she correct? She is correct. All right. I have a follow-up question on that one. What was the United States founded as? If it was not a democracy, what was it?
Wait, I didn't budge though.
Isabella and Patricia are on it. What is it?
Republic.
Constitutional democracy. Constitutional republic. I'm going to give you 5 points because you said republic. But that wasn't a 10-point answer, just so you know. All right. Next question. One of the purposes of government is to remove the desire for man to sin. Isabella and Patricia, true or false?
False.
That is correct.
I think that Isabella and Patricia are cheating.
Michaela thinks that they're cheating. Maybe they are.
First 10 should not be a 10.
What is it?
Why?
Oh,
Oh,
no,
because you let him answer.
Maggie's mad. Okay, next one. One of the purposes of government is to restrain the exercise of sin. Michaela, we have a new person on the board now. Is this true or false? The purpose of government is to restrain the exercise of sin.
True.
The answer is true. Yay, she's on the board.
No, that was scary.
It was scary.
Oh, my heart
Doesn't want to do this anymore. She's scared. Okay, hold on. Every organization has a constitution. Yes. Adam is in. Is this true or false, Adam?
I'd say false.
Oh, he got it wrong. Michaela, is it true or false? You're the
True.
second.
But they're true or false questions.
I know. So it's pretty easy. You're just going to get 2 points if you come in second, or 10 points if you come in second. All right.
Wait, hold on. My thingy went away.
I'm not going to stop for you.
Oh, it's back.
All right. History helps us appreciate our constitutional heritage. True or false?
Buzzer is not working.
Isabella and Patricia, true or false? True? True, that is correct. All right. Off. I'm resetting it. The only reason pilgrims came to America was to escape religious persecution.
Oh my gosh.
Lydia's on the board. Is it true or false, Lydia? False? She is correct. I also have to fix my typo. It's just the way that it is. Okay. She is correct. I got to go over here, give her 10 points. Okay, I'm turning this off. True or false? The Pilgrims established self-government under God in the Mayflower Compact, uniting God and government in the birth of America. Maggie, true or false?
True.
She says true. Let's see if she's right. She is correct. 10 points for Gryffindor.
What is that?
I think there's just like frantic twitching happening next to me. Okay. The biblical work ethic helped make the free enterprise system work. Michaela.
True.
True, she says. It is true.
Should have said false.
The theology of priesthood of believers led to widespread literacy. Maggie, true or false? The theology of the priesthood of believers led to widespread literacy.
False.
She says false. The answer is true. Michaela, is it true or false?
It's true.
It's true. Michaela stole your points.
I'm gonna hit you. Oh my gosh, she's violent.
Essentially, the concept of the law of nature holds that there exists a higher law than the law of man, by which man's laws must be judged.
Oh.
Isabella
wow.
and Priscilla. True? True is correct.
Man, they need to have like a what's a later type of start?
The source of natural rights or unalienable rights is God, and man, being created in the image of God, possesses human dignity. Michaela.
True.
True, she says. She is correct. I don't know what's going on here. Why are we not hearing from everybody? Adam, did you just give up on that one? Maya, you just gave up? Like you're not even buzzing in. Come on,
It's
you
too slow.
people. This is a rigged system. It's rigged. I'm not even gonna play. I'm gonna take my ball and go home.
I'm trying, but I think because I'm not on a laptop or like a computer, it lags, so my button thing doesn't reset when you push reset, so I can't like do it when everybody else does. But it's okay.
Interesting.
If it doesn't reset, just always click it.
I think that's what's
Well,
going on with Isabella and Patricia.
It just stays in that like gray ready. It doesn't change at all. And so I have to like reset the whole website a few times before it does it.
Oh. Huh. I don't know, because this is the first time I've ever used this, so I don't know. I was hoping it would be more fun, though.
I'll join on a laptop instead next week.
Okay. The framers believed that man was basically good given the proper environment. Isabella and Patricia. True? That is false. So number 2 is Michaela. Is it true or false?
False.
You get it by default. Right there. Okay, hold on. The framers knew that the rulers and government officials have the same nature as the rest of us. Lydia, it's your chance. True or false?
True.
True is correct. She's on the board. The Declaration of Independence can be considered the true preamble to the Constitution. Lydia.
False.
Oh, she got that one wrong, which means Maggie of the Talking Pendants is up next.
What?
Is it true or false?
True.
True.
The talking
Penguins. Okay. The Declaration of Independence provided that the colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states. Adam made it in first. What's this going to be, true or false?
I figured out a hacking way to do it, so you can probably get it every time.
I answered it for you. Was it true or false?
True. I
You're
thought.
correct. Yay! Adam's on the board. All right. During the War for Independence, Alexander Hamilton wrote letters to Washington urging for a more decentralized government. Lydia.
True?
False. Maggie. False.
Wait, what? Oh.
So actually, Alexander Hamilton really was a fan of monarchy deep down inside. And so he really wanted a strong central government. He did not trust the people. The most detailed notes of the proceedings of the Constitutional Convention were taken by James Madison. Maggie. Feel like you have to know what your answer is before you hit the button.
True.
True, she says, and that is correct. The Anti-Federalists argued that the Constitutional Convention overstepped its jurisdiction because it was only authorized by Congress to revise the Articles of Confederation. Isabella and Patricia. True, they say. They are correct.
I still think they're cheating.
You still think they're cheating? Okay, let me hold on for a second here because we have 7 minutes left of class. And I have other things I did want to talk about, but what do you think? You want to do 7 more questions?
Yeah.
You would much rather play the game, even though it's rigged towards Isabella and Patricia? The opponents of the Constitution claimed that without a Bill of Rights, the Constitution was a dangerous document. Lydia.
False?
True. That means that Adam gets points if he can say false. True. The
It's
other
true.
one. There you go. Okay. Constitution places limits on each state's authority. Michaela.
Holy moly, I got really bad that time. Okay. True.
False. Ryan. Ryan, it's your chance.
Ryan,
What is the answer? Ryan,
Is it false?
it places limits on on the federal government authority, not the state's authority. The General Welfare Clause is to provide all needy Americans with housing, food, and good health care. Maggie. True, she says. That is incorrect. This is false. Ryan, you are in as the second place clicker.
Is it false?
It's false.
Oh.
All right. The advantage of a bicameral Congress is that the popular majority is empowered to advance legislation. Adam.
Hold on. False.
That is correct, sir. We're done. You can put it away. Crowd buzzer is over as of right now. Maggie would like to request her bonus points for her cool name. And so I've given her 10 points.
I put our name on there. Come on. You got it. I give you credit.
Michaela would like to request points because she used my last name as her team name. Why don't you all buzz in real quickly so we can see and compare once again?
I'm not even in anymore.
Maya, there's nothing there. You didn't
wait,
even
wait,
put a
go
team
again,
name in
go.
there. Batman is solid. I would be willing to offer some points to
Yes.
Kenna for Batman. I mean, why not? What do we have?
I was Ryan Reynolds.
That was not your team.
Oh, I was just high.
Hi. I think that's worth 5 points. Any other people would like to buzz in with their team name options? No?
I already got rid of mine, so
You were the blue team. I'd give you some points for that. I mean, we might as well. It's a very important process here. Having handed out all of the extra credit points, we would like to congratulate by a narrow margin, 5 points only, the terrific duo of Isabella and Patricia with 65 points. Second is a tie to Maggie and Michaela.
He's so happy.
They're so happy right here, right now. Tyler failed today. He got 0 points. Maya, you participated, but we need to work on your clicking skills. And Jack and Garrett also received 0 points. So there you have it. Did we like this? Is this worth doing again sometime?
Yes.
Okay. I will probably do it again with fewer questions. Because let me see what we had left to do on our slides. We were going to talk about land ownership. We did talk about impeachment, so I think we kind of covered that. Oh, the checks and balance system. We're going to have to come back to the checks and balance system, guys. So this is going to be our question and our thought process for next week, because this is one of the reasons that I believe that the United States has sustained for 250 years is the check and balance system. Okay, so things to think about. What does check and balances mean for next week? And why do we care? Why do we want a slow-moving government? Isn't that at odds with our Bill of Rights to having a speedy trial? Like, what's the deal with slow-moving versus fast-moving? Why does that matter? I'll make it sound better in our question and for the weekly email, but we want to talk about why checks and balances are significant. So, along with that, I do believe there could be a biblical connection point, which is Ecclesiastes 4, 9 through 12. And I'll include this in the email that I send out with everybody. I think that's what I'm going to do. For those of you who still need to do the homework, I am happy to do that right now for chapters 7 and 8. And if you are finished with the homework and you don't need to have that checked, then you're welcome to hop off. I will not do the buzzer game every single time, but I feel like you smiled, and that is of a high priority to me for you to not be bored. So we will do buzzers later. Okay. All right. Thank you to those of you who are hopping off. And chapter 7.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, guys. All right. Chapter 7 review worksheet number 1. 1A, Teddy Roosevelt. 2C, 30%. 3D, all of the above. 4D, 237 million acres. 5B, difference in which the states entered the Union. 6D, all of the above. 7C, the Congress. 8C, nullification and interposition. Those should have been vocabulary words, my friends. I feel like we missed our opportunity of not adding those into our vocabulary questions. Just so you know, not judging, but kind of judging. 9A, 9. 10D, all of the above. Chapter 8, review worksheet number 1. Number 1, 4, 2. 2, electors, senators, representatives. 3, House, representatives, 1. 4, violate. 5, federal. 6, natural born, 35, 14. 7, protect, defend, so help me God. 8, commander, chief. 9, administer, advise. 10, pardon, impeachment. 11, 2/3, 12, laws Congress, 13, treason, bribery, 14, 2, Andrew Johnson, William Jefferson Clinton, but it's actually 3 and it includes Donald Trump. 15, Supreme Court Congress, 16, good behavior Constitution, 17, thoughts jurisdiction acts, 18, original appellate, 19, law land, and 22, corruption and blood. Okay. Are we all good? All right. I appreciate you guys. Let me know
Thank
if
you.
Thank you.
you're welcome. Take care.
Thank you.